friends, FirearmPop here, and today I have another discussion video for you, and the topic is how close is close enough. Well, folks, I just want to present the pros and cons of when you should draw your weapon, and please add to this discussion down in the comments section or by response video. That would be great too. It's unfortunate these days that we must understand the total effects of our actions once we have made a split-second decision to draw and fire a weapon in order to save your life or the life of a loved one. It is imperative to understand that within the American psyche lies a deep sense of fair play, rooting for the underdog, and a compassion for those perceived as not fairly matched. Okay, juries both want and need to know why a person resorted to deadly force, utilizing a firearm towards a person armed with just a knife, or even if the suspect's violent act could be stopped in no other manner. If you are casually dismissing the foregoing, you are delusional as the role of a judicial system in such matters. Okay, I'll add again my son's favorite saying here. It is far better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. However, the decisions we make here will affect us the rest of our lives. In any application of deadly force, you will be questioned, challenged, and held accountable over an extended period of time for the action carried out in mere seconds. Okay? And if these actions and decisions upon which you are judged, laws differ from state to state, so avoid extensive deliberation. So let's avoid extensive deliberation. Let's agree that deadly force may be used to prevent an imminent great bodily injury, okay, or death to oneself or others based upon the reasonable man standard and the totality of the circumstances. Okay, with this in mind, I would be prudent to understand in depth the dangers and limitations imposed when confronting a person armed with any weapon. So, I guess the great debate here is the definition of the word imminent danger. So let's explore this further. Since I began shooting, I understand that the 21-foot rule applied, and that I did that in all my practice, target shooting drills set at a certain distance, and I am learning now that that is not necessarily so. There is the familiar rule called the 21-foot rule, or the Tuller drill. Okay, what is the 21-foot rule? Okay, so I was on YouTube and I saw a video of some dude cutting a cardboard cutout in half. The related videos were just people running into a target and cutting something with a knife. Okay, the 21-foot rule is a rule originating from the research of Salt Lake City trainer Dennis Tuller. The Tuller rule states that in the time it takes an average officer to recognize a threat, officer or person, okay, to recognize a threat, draw his firearm and fire 2 rounds at center mass, an average suspect charging at the officer with a knife or other cutting or stabbing weapon can cover the distance in 21 feet. The 21-foot rule was formulated by timing subjects beginning their headlong run from a dead stop on a flat surface, offering good traction, and victims standing stationary on the same plane, sidearm holstered and snapped in. Once he perceives a signal to do so, the average person requires 1.5 seconds to draw from a snap level 2 holster and fire 1 unsighted round at center mass. Add a quarter of a second for firing a second round, another tenth of a second for obtaining a flash sight picture for the average person. The latest person tested required the fastest person tested required 1.31 seconds to draw from a level 3 holster and get off his first unsighted round. The slowest person tested was 2.25 seconds. For the average person to draw and fire an unsighted round from a Snap Level 3 holster, which is becoming increasingly popular because of its extra security features. That takes 1.7 seconds. Meanwhile, the average suspect with an edged weapon raised in a traditional ice pick fashion, can go from a dead stop to level unobstructed surface, offering good traction in 1.5 to 1.7 seconds. The fastest, most skillful, most powerful, subject tested easily covered the distance of 1.27 seconds. Intense rage, high agitation, and or the influence of stimulants may shorten this time. Now, a YouTube friend, Brothers Keepers 111, says, "You cannot stress practice, practice, and more practice, but realistic practice. My wife recently completed her CCW class here in North Carolina, which consisted of an 8-hour class of gun safety and case law. Then they shot 30 rounds, 10 at 3 yards, 10 at 5 yards, and 10 at 7 yards. And they all had to do was to keep some of the shots in the black of the silhouette." She was never had any such experience with firearms, but I'm working with her. Despite such little training, she can now CCW in my state legally. I am trying to work with her in some real-life scenarios and stressful shoot situations. Most get basic one-day class and never train or shoot very little after that point. Again, great topic. I look forward to it, and feel free to use my opinions and point of views. Just to keep in mind, I am not an expert, just a veteran Leo, and this is his point of view. God bless, he states. Okay, and another YouTube friend, A Woman's World 123, she says, "How close is too close? It all depends on the threat of the person approaching you. Most criminals are not going to approach you with their weapons drawn at 20 foot or more. Even criminals are aware of the fact that you don't give your target a chance to react. So in the event of a crime, the person perpetrating the crime waits until you are within arm's reach of their target to show you they really are and present the weapon. By this time, it's too late to react with any positive outcome of protecting your life, at which moment you are officially in self-preservation mode. As to how close is too close, I would say aware of all people as potential criminals is key to the positive reaction to imminent danger. If you no longer can determine if a person's movements are a threat to you, then when it's close enough, it's too close. However, if you keep a person at arm's length, you are more likely to be able to react to a moment or encounter with actions of a criminal. There is no specific distance that is 100% accurate in judging if someone is a potential threat and will allow you the time to react without hesitation. So, imminent danger is the threat of a physical or bodily harm that can result in injury or death. The problem with imminent danger and the reaction distances is no one ever knows until the time and in that moment of a threat whether or not their lives are in danger enough to protect it with deadly force. And oddly enough, those times are under siege by the time you are able to react. So the key is not becoming a victim, is to not put yourself in places and situations that will make you a target. You have to watch everyone around you and be aware of your surroundings. Notice that it is normal, what is normal in a place and what is abnormal and out of place, and you can more easily prevent the situation from occurring. It normally takes me 1.8 to 2 seconds to draw and establish the shooting parameters. It is not wise to fire blindly into an unknown because you may hurt innocent bystanders. You have to know all the aspects of firearm ownership and safety. You are responsible for the lives around you if you fire a deadly weapon in public. Subsequently, the biggest question is, can you eliminate your target without hurting someone else in the process? That's why when you draw your gun to shoot, you better be comfortable with that decision and able to control or overcome that certainty. There are drills out there one can participate in to become more efficient in obtaining criminal and gaining better weapon draw time. But most times, potential criminals already know that they want what they want to do, and they execute their plans with surgical precision. Unfortunately, you never know you are a target until it's too late. So yes, these drills are good, but most give you a false sense of security about your abilities. However, practice does make permanent. Okay, so how close is too close? So close enough? I think too close is when you allow someone to turn you into a target of their affections. Laughing out loud. She says, I hope that helps. That's a woman's world 123. Thanks for that great input. So the questions are here that I'd love your comments on is, can you define imminent danger? Okay, is the 21 foot the distance everything revolves around? Okay, is that the distance you should practice at? If not, what is the proper distance? Okay, how long does it take you to draw and fire your normal carry weapon in your normal carry position? Do you know what that is? Okay, are drills like this practical?
I'm gonna rip your guts out! I'm gonna get you!
And back to the original question, how close is close enough? Now, the worst thing I can do here is put a bunch of doubt and question in your mind, so in that moment of decision, you hesitate. Can't afford to hesitate, folks. That's why it's training, 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 just like a boxer trains for a prize fight. He doesn't think about each blow that he throws. He knows instinctively to block or punch. And that's what you need to do. You need to practice enough so you know instinctively whether to block or punch. Okay. So, I'm looking forward to the comments. Come back often to this video and see the new comments that are added, and it should be fun. Okay, so here. This is FirearmPop. Be safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.